Health markets are some of the biggest markets in all of e-commerce. And in today's video, we're going to be diving into a booming trend in the health market that is estimated at almost $50 billion a year. And I'm going to show you a lot of examples and a ton of data on emerging trends within this category so that you can take advantage of them. And we're going to dissect a few different stores here, from really well branded brands on Shopify to even some less branded stores that are perhaps even drop shipping their products, but still able to make a big amount of revenue. So let's just dive right in. First and foremost, the market that I'm talking about is the peptide market. So the peptide market is estimated, or was estimated in 2024 at almost 50 billion, which is pretty substantial as it is, and it's expected to grow to almost 200 billion plus. And that's pretty unbelievable. Now, within this market specifically, there is a trend going on that is seriously picking up steam, and it's called BPC 157. Now, I never really knew about this trend, but it's actually massive on Reddit, Instagram, on X, on YouTube, everywhere. And it's pretty much a peptide studied for its potential therapeutic effects, particularly in healing and recovery. So this is primarily aimed at people who go to the gym and, or athletic people who do a lot of exercise and need fast recovery, tissue repair, things of that nature. So as you see, this is getting about 300,000 people searching this every single month, and it is just on a tear. This is absolutely exploding. Now, I did find actually the reason what sparked this up actually is I saw this ad right here. Let's actually just click it, and we're going to take a super quick look at what this ad looks like so you can see what prompted this. So
your neurotransmitters are still damaged. Your anxiety isn't random. Your neurotransmitters are still damaged. This capsule repairs them in 30 days. BPC 157 is known as the neuro repair peptide because nothing restores a dopamine-fried brain faster.
The really interesting thing here is, first of all, this is like an AI voice. And second of all, it's just stock clips, right? They're not even showing the product.
The mental
it's just a really good
Your mind storing the neurochemical.
And as you see, it's just AI images.
To you.
So
no
pretty crazy, right? Now they're showing it here. They're actually showing the product that says BPC 157. But this brand is selling a different BPC 157. They're just drop shipping, most likely, this product. And, obviously there may be ethical concerns with that. I would never probably do that for this kind of product unless I knew for sure that the factory is really good, which maybe they're doing. We don't know. But I'm showing you this as an example because these guys are actually running a ton of ads. They have 140 different active ads. And what I wanted to exemplify here primarily is the way that they're actually testing different angles, right? Because that is such a big key to e-commerce. And one of the ways in which you can revive your brand or maybe get results if you've been struggling with your brand, is just to test different angles, different ways that maybe your product could help somebody, different mechanisms. So for them, they are talking about speed up muscle and joint recovery and reducing inflammation. But, in that ad that we just saw, they're talking about fixing your brain, pretty much like fixing your brain tissue, repairing your brain tissue and stuff like that, which will reduce your anxiety. So that's one of the things about the health space, is that there's so many gray areas where people advertise a variety of different recovery reasons, right? Or recovery angles. And that's one of the benefits of supplements actually, is that oftentimes they can help with a variety of things. So you can kind of target different segments of people. Now, I'll show you here a very nice looking brand on the other hand, that has super clean branding. And for those of you that are building dropshipping stores, I would say probably copy the brands, right? Like if you're going to get inspiration from brands like this that are crushing it, because I love the layout that they have. But even with what they're doing, they could be actually taking notes from these guys, right? These guys have much better images, but their overall layout is a little more spammy and, shrine-esque. This is clearly the shrine theme, which is, it's a great theme, don't get me wrong. But I really like what these guys are doing in terms of the look, but it's just not very well marketed, but the structure is really cool. Now, these guys, however, are doing much better in terms of results. So that one brand that I just showed you is getting about, they're scaling. This was, in August, 20,000 monthly visitors. I'm talking about the dropshipping brand. But then this other brand, Infiniwell, they're at 200,000 monthly visitors, and you can see the trajectory of this is growing a lot. I would say this one is probably bottomed out based on how many ads they're running on Meta. They are probably scaling pretty big right now, which is pretty cool. So, it's kind of like a stock, right? We can see that this bottomed out and they're just going to be booming now. And these guys have just been booming from the start, which is pretty awesome. And I like to tell the members of ShopeeLab, so ShopeeLab.ai, that's what this platform is. We have a bunch of really cool tools, a lot of sourcing tools. And what I tell the people in here is you should always get inspiration from brands that are up and to the right. So that are literally this, right? Up and to the right. I guess it's this way on camera, because these guys are doing big things, right? You can see that they're building unstoppable momentum, and that's always good to take inspiration from. Now on Google, there's a lot of brands actually in this category, and you see this product is super high priced, which is pretty crazy. Like $150 for some capsules is pretty wild. There's other brands, and that's actually how dropshippers are able to sneak into this niche, right? Because it's just such an expensive niche. Or the perceived value is so high because of the competitors that they're able to get sales. This is another example of a brand that I saw on Google that is also using the Shrine theme. And again, we don't know. I don't know if these are real certificates and things of this nature. Maybe it is. I hope it is. If it is, that's super cool. I'm a big advocate actually for branded dropshipping stores as long as they're doing things right and properly, which it seems like these guys are doing, and that's awesome. That this is a great example in that case of how you can take that dropshipping angle but make it really solid. And they're probably doing quite well too. Actually, I didn't check their traffic, but let's check it and see just how well they're doing. So yeah, they're doing pretty well. Not as substantial as these guys, but that's what's kind of crazy, is that even though these guys are not having the best product images or anything, they're still crushing the competition. They are running a lot of Meta ads. They're running 86 different ads, not as many as the other ones, but they're very clean ads, super well branded. As you see, recovery taking longer than it used to. Put your recovery in hyperdrive with BPC. So they're going very heavy into this specific product, and they're driving a lot of traffic to these pre-landers. So that's most likely why they don't put that much emphasis on the product page. Because they're just using a lot of pre-landers. You see they're getting people to buy right here on a subscription or a one-time purchase, and they're just driving all their traffic to this page right here, which is pretty cool. Pre-landers are always really powerful, and you can see they're saying it ships free plus same day, so same day shipping, which is really not that crazy of a thing, at least in my opinion. For me, like some of the stores that we've been launching, so for example, let me show you how you could source something like this. I'll show you here. If you go make a free account on ShopeeLab.ai, you click ShopeeLab sourcing, and then you click on Team Drop. Team Drop is what I would recommend. Let me just make sure I log in properly here. So I will log in and show you what I mean. So on here, I'm just going to look this up. BPC. I highly doubt I can find this 157. But we'll see. Maybe I can. Oh, you can actually. So, for example, right, we got this one right here. I would, of course, talk to their team. So on Team Drop, this is an absolutely free platform, by the way, especially with that link. And you can hit them up on WhatsApp here and confirm that there's certifications needed in order to sell this, so that you don't, get in any trouble or sell something that people are going to ingest that that is fake, right? You don't want to do that because you're going to get in trouble and you could actually harm somebody, right? You don't want to harm people. But as you see, we have some, okay, the shipping options are not great for this one, but in general, you can get 5 to 8 day shipping on Team Drop for a variety of products, and it's super easy to fulfill as they come, and you can even pay with a credit card, which is pretty awesome. So that's a really cool solution for launching a brand. That's what we've been doing actually with our team internally, our studio. And we've had 3 different stores this month that have all crossed $1,000 a day, and 2 of them have crossed $2,000 a day, and 1 of them crossed $4,000 a day. So it's a really great season to be launching these lean e-com stores. And that's why I like to always do a lot of research, get inspiration, because it gets my creative juices flowing to then launch more stores. I really like this brand. I think they're doing a lot of things right. One of the things that they are doing right is posting a lot of really great content. But one of the things I noticed that they're not doing right is responding to comments. And this is one of the biggest hacks I think that a lot of health and wellness brands are not thinking about. So they tend to just hide comments. But I would suggest to every single brand owner out there to install something like Smart Reply and start actually engaging with your comments. Don't just hide them right away. Get an AI agent like Smart Reply, which will be trained on your brand to actually respond and engage with those comments and handle objections, right? If people see you doing that, they're going to trust your brand way more. And, you might be hiding an objection that multiple people have. And instead of, just hiding it, you could just be replying to it 24/7, right? Obviously, that gets hard to do whenever you're scaling up big time. But that's why Smart Reply is so incredible, because even if you hire a VA, right, you're going to have to pay them for 10 hours a day or even 8 hours a day. But there's, a whole other side of the day where no one's covering it. AI works 24/7, right? So definitely a no-brainer, and it's literally free to install. You can install it on Shopify. It's a Shopify app. Super cool, so I have to mention it. I still see so many brands lacking, this one included, and not getting that set up. So pretty crazy. You can have an entire customer service team for $50 a month. Again, it's free to start, but yeah, it's $50 a month, $49 a month for the basic plan. But it can handle Meta comments, TikTok comments, Instagram comments, DMs, and it can even handle email and your website chatbot. So it's pretty amazing. But yeah, this is kind of a really wild niche. I really wanted to share with you and share you a few different examples of brands that are, super legit, some that are not so legit, but they're still just pushing through and being very scrappy. And, just to give you motivation and a lot of data. I'm a big, I trust in the data for the most part. I like to look at things that are exploding, because when there's more demand, it usually creates a discrepancy, right? When there's this kind of demand but not a lot of supply, as we see, there's not a ton of supply for this. I mean, a lot of these are not great, right? Like, I don't see, at least personally, a brand that I would like to shop. This one's maybe the best one, or this one. This one looks really nice. I kind of like the black. It looks cool, but yeah, the site is not great at all. So you see what I mean? Like, the competition is not that great. So, you're competing with guys like this. So these are the asymmetric bets that I see out there in e-commerce. And right now, a lot of big brands are struggling because of tariffs, because of, new meta updates. So, but for us, we've been launching a lot of new stores and seeing great results on Meta. And also seeing that a lot of people are buying stuff. Like, the demand is still there. It's just that a lot of brands are struggling internally with their costs. So of course, that's super unfortunate. And if you're a brand and being affected by that, I really do sympathize with you. I have some brands that are affected by that as well. But I'm always moving. I'm always adapting. And I think that's what you should do too. And also, just for the people that haven't started or that are scared to start because of those reasons, you actually have to flip the switch in your mind, because those reasons are the reasons why it's such an incredible time to start. Actually, the competition is struggling. There is a huge open ocean of demand that needs to be filled, and you could do that with your products. There's literally endless products to test. I was actually doing a little bit of, I want to test soon, just like random products from here. I know that sounds like kind of different, because I'm talking a lot about, for example, being data driven. But I do, for example, like these kind of shirts, right? Like some of these different products that I know are blowing up. Okay, of course, you probably shouldn't sell goalie fakes. Don't do that. But, there's some interesting products that I really think go unnoticed and untested, because they're not on Calo data or things like that. Like this, for example, is super cool. This is such a cool power bank. Let's see how much it costs to ship. So, okay, that's a pretty slow shipping time again. But I would contact them on WhatsApp and get them to do UniExpress, which is 5 to 8 day shipping. But this is a really cool one. I might have to save this one. I guess it's probably the battery that makes it expensive. So yeah, drop shipping is still kind of rocky because of tariffs too. Like, shipping prices have gone up a lot. But if you're selling, if you're nimble, like I mentioned, you can still make it work to a pretty great extent. I mean, like I said, we're making thousands of dollars of profit every day on new stores that we've launched this month. And actually, just as a last mention, in the course here inside Shopee Lab, I actually built one of those stores from scratch, step by step, even down to coming up with the name on here. So make sure that you check out Shopee Lab. It's a really amazing, platform and community and educational resource. I'm actually planning to make this into the best educational resource for e-commerce. One step at a time, though. That doesn't happen overnight. Right now, it's mainly about the software resources, like the discovery tab here, where I found this ad right here. Another cool thing too that we can do with this, since we know it's a winning script, is we can literally just take the script and put it into our own large language models like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini to create our own scripts based on our brand. You can just copy the script right here. Very nice. You can even download the video or download the thumbnail. And it gives a little AI analysis of core desires and, kind of foundational, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs type of analysis. So you can also add this into your LLM and get really nice scripts that appeal to those things. Just some interesting stuff. But yeah, I know I'm yapping a lot about the software. I'm not trying to, pitch it too hard to you here. I'm just mentioning it because it is helpful for these videos. What is this? This looks kind of cool. UV nail lamp. Wow, wait, this is really nice. This is a cool product. And yeah, it has really fast shipping, $11. Yeah, this is cool. I remember seeing those big nail lamps, but this one's like smaller and kind of cool. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for this video. Hopefully you found it inspirational. Hopefully you got some good ideas from it. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.